welcomes you to the 2022 World Gymnastics Championships. And for the first time ever, best gymnasts in the world gathering in Liverpool for this event. Third time overall in England. Action taking place inside the M&S Bank Arena, 51st edition of the World Gymnastics Championships. And we are getting set for the women's team final. U.S. has been dominating. For the U.S., John Roethlisberger, who competed at the World Championships some 6 times and is there watching the action in Liverpool. Obviously, Sam, the biggest annual, most important event in gymnastics, best in the world gathering as they warm up here, ready to go.
Absolutely. Team USA is coming in almost 3 points ahead of the second-ranked team from qualification, but that does not mean you can't rule these other teams out. They have some improvements to make, and they have a potential to score even higher here tonight, so USA has to be on their game. And
those points do not carry over, so it's a clean slate. You start here in the team final, and whatever you do in this part of the event, that will help decide, by the way, spots at the Olympics. The top 3 teams here earn spots here, ready to go.
Absolutely. Team USA is coming in almost 3 points ahead of the second-ranked team from qualification, but that does not mean you can't rule these other teams out. They have some improvements to make, and they have a potential to score even higher here tonight, so USA has to be on their game.
And those points do not carry over, so it's a clean slate. You start here in the team final, and whatever you do in this part of the event, that will help decide, by the way, spots at the Olympics. The top 3 teams here earn spots.
Decisions were to put Jordan Childs back on the beam. She had a rough qualifications, but Chelsea told me not only did she hit her routines yesterday in practice and this morning even before coming to the competition, she told me she went up to Jordan during training and said, "Jordan, are you okay? Can you do this?" And Chelsea has no doubt that Jordan can do it, but she told me this morning she wanted Jordan to be part of that process. Jordan took a moment, came back to her and said, "Yes, I can," and she is second up on balance beam. A little bit different process than we've seen in the past from USA Gymnastics.
All right, John, thanks. So your thoughts on those decisions for the U.S. squad, especially that confidence that Jordan Childs has in herself and they have in her?
Yeah, Terry, I think it's an excellent decision given their high-pressure international experience that some of the other gymnasts on the team have not received yet. This is a very important meet. Like you mentioned, the top...
And this morning even, before coming to the competition, she told me she went up to Jordan during training and said, "Jordan, are you okay? Can you do this?" And Chelsea has no doubt that Jordan can do it, but she told me this morning she wanted Jordan to be part of that process. Jordan took a moment, came back to her and said, "Yes, I can," and she is second up on balance beam. A little bit different process than we've seen in the past from USA Gymnastics.
All right, John, thanks. So your thoughts on those decisions for the U.S. squad, especially that confidence that Jordan Childs has in herself and they have in her?
Yeah, Terry, I think it's an excellent decision given their high-pressure international experience that some of the other gymnasts on the team have not received yet. This is a very important meet. Like you mentioned, the top 3 qualify automatically to the Olympics in 2024. So there's a lot riding on this, and more importantly, it's 3 up, 3 count. That means 3 gymnasts are competing and all mistakes are counted.
Got experience for the U.S., but maybe not at the World Championships. 3 of the 5 have not been to the World Championships before. How about the order in which they will go? So the U.S. grouped together with Great Britain. It'll be loud there. On vault, that's where they'll start. Brazil and Italy together. Japan, China, France, and affect what you do.
It really affects the start event that you have, and just goes to show that you're going to do one country and then they're alternating to another country. So you're not going to see 3 gymnasts from France competing back to back. You're going to see them alternating, which is interesting.
All right, here we go. We start on floor. Marine Boyer from France, the 22-year-old.
Good job getting her chest up on her first tumbling pass. 8.1 on her E-score. Now, an E-score means the execution score. That means, is her chest up when she lands? Is she landing with solid landings? An 8.1 is a really good score, so she's hoping to repeat that here today.
So France grouped together with Canada starting on floor. Get the numbers for Boyer in just a bit. Drove it on even bars. Lohane Oliveira getting set for Brazil. How about Brazil and their chances? They qualified in third, but take it back to the Pan American Championships, pulled off that big upset over the U.S.
Brazil is the team that's really exciting to watch. They have all the potential to upset the Americans here today, but they've struggled with consistency throughout the year. So their goal here today is just hit their routines. This is their first gymnast up, so this is a crucial bar routine to set things on the right pace for them. Nice distance away from the bar on that catch. Looking for a solid landing here today. That is the way Brazil is hoping to start this competition.
Lohane Oliveira, who is only competing on bars, so that effort important, and the only one of the night for her. Over to vault, and from the U.S., the 21-year-old from Vancouver, Washington, Jordan Childs. Here we go.
Yurchenko double full, and she has proven consistency on this vault in her landing. She nails it almost every single time. Check out this slow-mo. Straight arms off the table, gets her twist all the way around, and you know, that is not even the best one that I've seen, but she does a really good job of absorbing the landing there.
First time at the World Championships, came oh so close to making it there in 2017. There's the number, 14.4 for Jordan Childs. Meanwhile, Alice Kinsella, the 21-year-old representing Great Britain, getting set on vault.
Britain doesn't necessarily have the difficulty on this event that the Americans do, but what they do have is clean vaults. Their execution scores do very well internationally, and you're going to see why here. Yurchenko double full. I saw a little split in the legs before she landed, but nice distance away from the table.
Going to be a busy night for Alice. She's competing in all 4 of the events. As we take another look.
She does a good job getting her legs back together before she hits the mat. Just wanting to clean that up to increase that E-score execution there.
Marine Boyer from France start on floor. And the number now 13.133. The difficulty in the execution. About Lohane Oliveira. There you go. 13.2 the number. Keep track of those. Obviously add up. Everybody's score counts. 3 athletes, all 3. Competing for each country. Tong Shi Jing, 19-year-old, getting set over on balance beam. The Olympic silver medalist.
Now, Terry, I don't want to be dramatic, but this event right here for the Chinese is crucial. And I will say it is the make or break event. They struggled on this event in the qualification day, and now they get to have redemption early on here. Nice round-off layout. Get things going.
Sam, a number of athletes, a number of teams, countries struggled on beam in qualification.
Really struggled. That was the theme throughout the night. And you talk about how sticking is contagious. Well, falling is also contagious. And we really saw that happen throughout the competition and qualification. And it is not a good sign for China's first athlete to have a mistake like this.
Wow. Struggles continue. Team China qualified in 6th, just ahead of France and then Canada.
Typically, China on beam does a really great job of absorbing the beam after each skill, and I'm seeing a little nervousness from these athletes. They're not landing fully before they continue. Oh, no.
Right to the very end. We were talking about this reigning silver medalist.
And remember, Terry, this is 3 up 3 count. So China will have to count this score regardless of how well the next 2 gymnasts perform.
So we'll wait for that number, get that in a bit. It won't be as high as she had hoped. Alice Kinsella, 14.133, the number for that opening vault. Now back to vault, and Shilese Jones, the 20-year-old from the Seattle area. Uneven bars, floor exercise champ at the national championships this year.
And check this out. She is high flying, a little short on that landing there. Almost looked like she was going for a stuck landing. But check out how high she gets off this table. Does a really great job lifting before she twists to have enough time to see that landing. It's not the best we've seen her do, but she's still going to get a good score for that.
Second in the all-around at the U.S. Championships recently, coming in with some momentum. 28 and change for vault. Jessica Gadarova getting set. She and Jennifer, the twins, representing Great Britain here, as they did at the Olympics. Great Britain only 1 world medal in the women's team final. That was bronze back in 2015. However, that surprising team bronze in Tokyo at the Olympics was huge.
Yurchenko double full. She's a quick twitched athlete. You can see that with how quick she got those twists around. Looks like she had some extra adrenaline on the landing there. Tight arms, good body position in the air, just piked it down ever so slightly right before she landed. The biggest deduction I see there is going to be the hop back on the landing. But other than that, in the air, it looks beautiful.
Imagine if they're in the mix right to the very end, how loud this place will be in Liverpool.
It is going to explode.
All right, over the uneven bars, Martina Maggio, the 21-year-old from Italy, getting ready. Mentioned Great Britain's success. How about Italy seeking its 3rd ever world medal in the team event, surprise bronze, 2019 in Stuttgart. That was the first women's team medal since 1932 for Italy.
And this is a team that I'm really excited to watch. They did very well on the qualifications day. They also struggled on balance beam, but this event, bars in particular, they hit very clean sets. So I'm looking for them to repeat exactly what they did in the qualifications. Oh. And that is not what they wanted to do. She doesn't quite get her dowel grip all the way over the bar when she goes to regrasp. And Terry, it is the worst thing to fall, especially on your first skill on the uneven bars. You have to basically start your routine over, except with 1 point deduction already.
And that's the start of a long night. She's going to compete in all 4 of the events here in the women's final.
Typically, she's one of their most consistent athletes. That is disappointing to watch. It's right here in these moments that are crucial. I'm bringing it up again, but it's important. 3 of 3 count. She cannot have another mistake here. She's in the chalk, hopefully giving herself a pep talk, figuring out how to regain her rhythm as if she didn't fall, which is a very tough thing to do mentally and physically.
Sam, how different is the pressure in a team event, too? Because you're not just competing for yourself. You're part of that. They're relying on you.
Absolutely, and most of the times you want to do well for your team. So you have that added pressure. You feel like the country has the weight of the world on your back. And sometimes having added pressure, like the team competition, that gets in your head.
Jessica Gadarova, the number 28.333 for that opening vault. And so they go back and forth, Great Britain and USA. So up next on vault, it'll be Jade Carey, the 22-year-old from Phoenix.
Very clean landing. I'm excited to see this replay because it looks like she did an excellent job getting her chest up on the landing, even though she missed the block a little bit on the table. But what an athlete. She seems to be able to find the ground no matter what, and that's what's most impressive to me about her.
Reigning U.S. vault champ, part of that World Team Championship in 2019, a silver medal back in 2017. So we'll get the number for her in just a moment. And final athlete up for Great Britain, Ondine Achampong, the 18-year-old. Going to be competing on vault and beam tonight.
She had the 3rd highest vault score coming in to this competition, and that's mostly because of her execution. That E score was a 9.466, so look how clean this vault is. Wow.
Nice to draw wow from the analyst.
Great technique in the air. Not only was she high, but her legs were glued together, and she had excellent distance away from the table.
So it's very close between the U.S. and Great Britain. We'll get that number for Achampong in a moment. Yamada from Japan, Chiharu Yamada, celebrating. Martina Maggio, 25.86. As you see the disappointment in her face, nearly in tears.
You know, it's tough to start the meet like that, especially with so much on the line. They want to be a top 3 team here in this competition.
All right, underway on bars, Rebecca Andrade, the 23-year-old from Rio, the 2-time Olympic medalist from Tokyo.
And she's ranked 3rd on this event after the qualification day, and you're going to see why. She is dynamic. All of her release moves are perfectly timed away from the bar, hits her handstands. It just looks too easy. She's incredible.
She's going to have to be the star. Brazil's going to hang in there tonight.
Nice distance. Right into that pack salto combination directly up to the high bar.
Remember the struggles on beam. Kang Xijing for China. Yeah, so not even 11. So extremely disappointing start for her and Team China on beam. And they struggled, as you mentioned, during the qualifier too. Achampong waiting for the numbers now. There you go, 42.699, at least through that first rotation. It is very close, Great Britain and the U.S.
Well, the Great Britain and the U.S. did their job on that event. They are moving on the way to the second rotation.
Oh Yushan, the 18-year-old for China, trying to gain some ground now, what they've given up. Qualified for the all-around final in 6th place, so just outside the top 5 finish in qualifying there.
Yushan was really the rock star for China on qualification day. She was the most consistent and produced those hit routines. So for anyone to have to go after those mistakes, this is the athlete you want. Little pause there. But what you're going to notice about the way she works beam is her arm positions. They are textbook. Perfectly in the right positions every single time she leaps or flips. Nice combination work. The beam is hard enough, and to follow a couple falls, not just one, but a couple falls under this type of pressure, if she nails this routine, I think this is going to give her so much confidence.
You say hard enough. For those of us who don't do it, it looks impossible.
It's 4 inches.
I know. Oh, wow.
Even with that stumble on the dismount, that is a score they're going to lean on moving to the next rotation. Finishes round off 2.5 twists. She looked okay. It almost looked like her toe got stuck in the mat a little bit. But you can tell from her face, she is a little disappointed from how that beam routine ended, because really it was phenomenal.
So nervously waiting for those numbers. And qualified first for the beam final. Chihara Yamada up on beam.
Talk about a team on the rise. I am really excited to see what this Japanese team does here tonight. They came into this team finals ranked #1 on this event. But you're sharing the rotation with China, so you are feeling the vibe of the other team's falls, even though they have been doing a good job here, back handspring layout. This is one of the few teams that actually did well on beam on the qualification day. So they're hoping to take that confidence into tonight's competition. And really, it could be their secret weapon. She's doing a good job fighting through. Obvious wobble there on her dance and a misconnection, but I think right now hit routines is what is going to place these teams in top 3.
Chihara Yamada, the 19-year-old from Osaka, Japan. We'll watch her in the all-around final 2, qualified for that in 19th.
Finishing double pike. She will get a deduction for her chest landing low on the dismount, but again, they're looking for hit routines on this event.
How about Andrade's number? There's the team number, 41.499 overall for Brazil. Yushan, 24.90. They needed her to be really good on beam.
They did. She scored a 13.9 in the qualification day, and they really needed her to repeat that here today.
All right, over to floor for Canada. Sydney Turner, the 17-year-old, British Columbia. Ready? compete on floor, beam, and bars. 3 of the 4 events here in the women's team final.
Every 4 years, the code of points changes just slightly, and this code has put a stronger emphasis on artistry. So you're going to notice throughout the with facial expressions and with their dance. Good routine to finish on for Canada. And Canada's a team that doesn't quite have the difficulty across all 4 events, but with the mistakes we've been seeing, they could make a significant jump in the standings.
Let's try to listen in, see if we can pick up any conversations. We'll get that number in a bit. Shoko Miyata now from Japan, ready to start balance beam routine. Good start, eventually.
Clean series. Great save there on that double turn. You could see she got a little out of control on the landing, but recovers nicely. That she is smiling through this event. You don't really see that very often here in these elite competitions. Sometimes smiling on beam gives you a little bit more confidence throughout the routine. She's smiling through even though she had a mistake.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Shoko Miyata after their qualification round of competition, and they have a very young team, all new to the World Championships. And she, again, like you said, Sam, she was all smiles. And one thing she said was they were just hoping to make the team finals, but they actually qualified well clear of that go, no-go zone. And I said, is it time to readjust your goals? And she said, yes, we must take a different look at what we want to accomplish. They've done quite a lot here.
Noah Ray from China up next.
This is an athlete that fell twice and almost again on her dismount on qualification day. Sometimes you just don't have it. It looks like they've just been off from the start here. I'm sure China was hoping this was going to be the routine that was going to bring them back on track. She is just stunning to watch on this event. The extension in all of her leaps and jumps. perfect skills, great connections. Really ticking all the artistry boxes for me if I was a judge here. Finishing good, clean landing.
Luo Ray, the youngest athlete from China here, 16 years of age.
Let's see what went wrong. It looks like her round off, she cut it around the side and then just rushed the flip, threw her head back a little bit, and it was enough to throw her completely off the beam. But the rest of her routine was beautiful.
Here in the women's team final of the World Gymnastics Championships from Liverpool. The U.S. with the lead. Remember, qualification, they won by about 2.5, almost 3 points. And Great Britain hanging in their group together. Brazil currently in third place. Flavia Saraiva, that's a big question mark going into the action because she did injure her ankle in qualification.
She did. She finished out that competition even though she just did a layout dismount here on the uneven bars, which did impact her score. But we
keep an eye on that. We'll see. That could change. But obviously they're concerned about that injury. 7th at the World Championships back in 2019. Flavia Saraiva, one of the stars for Brazil. As we continue. Obviously, they're concerned about that injury. 7th at the World Championships back in 2019. Flavia Saraiva, one of the stars for Brazil. As we continue.
On that event, but what else I'm noticing about these standings is Canada. They've jumped into that 5th place spot.
Canada qualifying in 8th, but remember those scores do not carry over. So on to rotation 2. Great Britain along with the U.S. over to uneven bars. Jessica Gadarova, the 18-year-old, one of the twins, her and Jennifer, born in Dublin. They have dual citizenship. We saw them star at the Olympics, part of that bronze medal, the team event.
This is an event that they have qualified in 5th place here in this team finals. But one person that Great Britain is definitely missing.
Canada qualifying in 8th, but remember those scores do not carry over. So on to rotation 2. Great Britain along with the U.S. over to uneven bars. Jessica Gadarova, the 18-year-old, one of the twins, her and Jennifer, born in Dublin. They have dual citizenship. We saw them star at the Olympics, part of that bronze medal, the team event.
This is an event that they have qualified in 5th place here in this team finals. But one person that Great Britain is definitely missing on this event is Becky Downey. She is a 2-time Olympian. She has a tore her Achilles this year and is unable to compete here in this competition.
Jessica placed 10th in the all-around in Tokyo, the first British women's artistic gymnast to earn a top 10 finish in the all-around final.
Good start. Nice handstand positions. Ooh. Going to be deducted there for the execution, but very impressed with how she's picked up the rhythm right from here. You can tell these Great Britain athletes are well trained. They looked very conditioned. That's something I've noticed on all 4 events for this team.
They love it inside the building.
Here's where that problem came. Check it out. Looks like her hand came off way before the other had some form issues there. Again, that's going to be a significant deduction, but it's not going to be as much as a fall.
All right, over to floor. Japan, Ayaka Sakaguchi, 20-year-old from Nagano. It's impressive in qualifying. Will compete on floor as well as beam and ball.
Opens nice full in. All right, Ayaka has some Todrick Hall floor music in there. I'm a big fan of the artistry edition, the added artistry edition. It looks like the gymnasts are having so much more fun and are able to perform their routines. Nice landing. What a way to start for Japan on floor.
So we'll get those numbers, Ayaka Sakaguchi, in a moment for that floor routine. Take you over to vault now. Emma Spence, the 19-year-old from Cambridge, Ontario, ready on vault.
You're going to see a Yurchenko 1.5 twist. Nice landing. 1.5s are tricky because it's actually a blind landing. She does a good job getting it all the way around. Great air awareness to find the landing.
It's a team, Canada, certainly led by Ellie Black. All that experience there and the accomplishment. And with high hopes and moving up based on the expectations after qualifying through one rotation at least. Sergio Villa, 53.099. The effort on beam, Italy and Brazil on balance beam in this rotation. Sakaguchi. It's kind of the fun she had on the floor exercise too.
Yeah, and it's showing in their gymnastics. They look like they're having a good time. It looks light. It looks like they want to be here, and it's really showing that here.
Jessica Gadarova. There's the number, 12.8, 55.499 overall for the team. Sakaguchi score 13.2, difficulty plus execution 52.199. Oh, Yushan from China on floor next. Those different emphasis that come and go, and right now it's on artist. How does that affect you as an athlete, though, as a gymnast?
You wouldn't think about this, but actually thinking about the artistry is a little bit more exhausting. You're worrying about what your facial expressions are looking like, how engaged you are with the judges, with the crowd, and of course the extension in your movements. Another positive change that I've noticed from the artistry edition is the increased intention on musicality. A lot more fun, energetic, dynamic floor routines that we're seeing here.
U.S. on uneven bars, and here goes Jordan Childs.
Here you go. You're good. Come on.
Nice distance on that combination. Gets that handstand position. To say this while she was going, but there were absolutely no major deductions in that bar routine. It's going to be an amazing execution score for Jordan Childs.
She hopes they agree with you. We'll get that number in a moment. Rebecca Andrade now from Brazil, one of the stars, ready on balance beam.
We all thought her role on this team was important, but especially now that Flavia is what we're assuming is not in for the rest of the meet here. Even more pressure rests on Andrade. Good hold on that switch ring. Oh. No,
something about this balance beam.
Something about it, Terry. I feel like these athletes are feeling the pressure even more so. And like I mentioned, Rebecca's role on this Brazilian team is even more important than it was coming into the competition. She's typically a great beam worker, qualified 8th into event finals from the qualification day, so this is not the routine that she is capable of doing.
Was injured last year at the World Championships, recurring ACL injuries, and only competed in a couple of events. And Wong on uneven bars, set to go next. So the 19-year-old from Overland Park, Kansas, underway.
This is an athlete that didn't compete on this event in the qualification day, but decided that her training was doing well, and she has a lot of experience competing under pressure that they wanted to put her in. This high-pressure situation, 3 up, 3 count. She is the 2021 World's All-Around silver medalist. So if anyone can handle this kind of pressure, she has the history to do so. Great save on that landing.
Standout at the University of Florida and the uneven bars champ at the U.S. Championships in 2022. It is unique to have athletes coming back from college to compete at this level at the World Championships.
Yeah, this is the first time in history that 3 active college gymnasts are on the world's team together. Incredible.
Colleen Daviar from France, the 22-year-old. Ready? Unvault. Wow.
A lot of difficulty there. I would have liked to see her landing a little bit cleaner. Bent her knees off the table. Looks like she just rushed from start to end, but does a good job of saving it at the end.
Only event she'll be competing in tonight, 13.7. So the overall number just under 80 for France. A lot of work to do for China. Remember, they were in last place after the opening rotation. Still waiting on those numbers for Lian Wong. Georgia May Fenton up next. And you're only competing in one event. There's a lot of pressure on you, too, in the women's team final.
And it's a good one. Over an 8.0 execution and a 5.7 difficulty score. She did her job just like Alicia Sacramone and Chelsea Mimmel thought that she could do it.
So Great Britain along with the U.S. on uneven bars right now. Georgia May Fenton, the 21-year-old, just about ready to go. The cheers at home.
She won bars at the Commonwealth Games and performed a new skill named after her. Struggles a little bit to get that handstand back on track. But gorgeous lines in these handstand positions. Now, nerves are a funny thing, Terry. On balance beam, it makes you a little shaky. On the uneven bars, it makes you rush your routine. So the rhythm is not as accurate as you've practiced in the past. Maloney half, that's called a Van Leeuwen. Straight back up to the high bar. And a hit routine from Georgia May Fenton.
Yushan get her number. There it is, just under 13. Should point out, no athletes from Russia or Belarus, by the way, are at the World Championships. They are banned because of the unprovoked invasion of the Ukraine. You think about Russia and that team in a team final, Olympic gold medalist.
It impacts the standings for sure, but if there's a time for other teams to capitalize on their absence, now would be the right time.
No doubt. Over to vault, Canada, Danelle Pedrick.
She has the most amount of difficulty on this Canadian team doing that Yurchenko double full. Looked good in the air, but struggled on the landing.
Got the number already, 13.866. And almost 81 for Canada overall. Been a solid night so far. Fenton waiting, doing some work on her eyelash.
Terry, don't worry about it. It's a whole to-do. Look good, feel good, do good.
Absolutely. Number solid, too. U.S. up next on uneven bars, Shilese Jones.
Shilese is an athlete that I personally love to watch on this event. Make sure you check out how much lift she gets on her release moves.
Mentioned she was second in the all-around. Great accomplishment at the U.S. Championships, but also the uneven bars champ.
Nicely done so far. Consistent rhythm. And that's a solid set for Shilese Jones. Not sure she could do it much better than that. Legs glued in those release moves. Handstands were hit. And Team USA is looking to see consistency from Shilese, and they're getting it right now.
Zhang Jin, 21-year-old from Shanghai, on floor.
Doesn't quite get her twist all the way around on the triple. That one might hurt.
All the way through. Action continues. Rotation 2 just closing. Saw, but final athlete out there on floor, Shoko Miyata from Japan.
She's ranked 10th coming into this team finals. Opens with a big double layout, full out.
Their Academy, the new Peacock original based on the best-selling book series. Streaming every episode now only on Peacock. Think from Halloween all.
Landing. Listen, I'm impressed with this athlete. She seems like the whole package to me. She has the difficulty, and she also has good execution. Very clean landings, good positions in the air. What a star.
First reserve for the floor final. Individual apparatus, the top 8, just like in the team final here, the top 8 make it to each one of those.
Combination pass, 1.5 to front full, no problems there. And of course, the double pike to a stuck landing. She's going to get 2/10 bonus for ending her routine with a double pike, capitalizing on that.
Choco Biata, the 18-year-old, who also qualified for the all-around final in 8th place. So been an impressive world championship so far for her as the rotation now wraps up. That'll do it. Halfway through this women's team final. The U.S. looking to continue what's been a dominant reign, really. 5 straight world gold medals in the team event, looking for their 6th straight in Liverpool. Thoughts on what you've seen so far?
It's been an interesting competition. We've seen a lot more mistakes than I would have expected. John, what do you think in the arena is with all of these almost uncharacteristic mistakes you've been seeing?
I tell you what, it's been an interesting world. You guys talked about it earlier. I'm going to bring a level down and check the beam to make sure it's actually horizontal because no one seems to want to stay on it. But, you know, you look at the British women, and they were close with Team USA after one rotation, but now they're over 2 points behind, and they got some work to do. They need some help from the U.S., and that means mistakes. But taking a quick look at Brazil, too, you talked about Saraiva. You know, Andrade and Saraiva, they're the Batman and Robin of the Brazilian team, and now Robin is out. And really, before the meet starts, that's about 3 points of just difficulty that the Brazilians are giving up, certainly to the United States. And
things that U.S. lead has increased. Great Britain solidly into 2nd place, and really good race for that 3rd spot. Canada, France, Italy, not too far back right there. Japan, Brazil, and China, who have struggled. The U.S. and Great Britain go to balance beam right now. Maybe if you're one of the other countries, you're thinking, all right, this is our only chance. Everybody has struggled on beam tonight.
I had the same thought, Terry. I said the top 2 leading teams haven't been to balance beam yet, and it seems that every team that has come to this event have had mistakes. Championships are not here at this competition. But to have an athlete as consistent as Jade Carey leading you off, I think that's an important.
Great Britain go to balance beam right now. Maybe if you're one of the other countries, you're thinking, all right, this is our only chance. Everybody has struggled on beam tonight.
I had the same thought, Terry. I said the top 2 leading teams haven't been to balance beam yet, and it seems that every team that has come to this event have had mistakes. I know USA has put a bigger emphasis on this event specifically. Their top 3 beam workers from championships are not here at this competition. But to have an athlete as consistent as Jade Carey leading you off, I think that's an important role right here.
And Brian, her coach.
Until it gave her a huge boost of confidence, especially on this event. An athlete that Chelsea Memmel has been so impressed with. She said that with all the artistry deductions, they've tried to restructure Jade Carey's beam routine. They're wanting her to do more skills and less choreography to limit the amount of deductions she might receive.
Chelsea now the technical lead for USA Gymnastics.
Good hit set from Jade Carey to get USA off on the right foot here on the big bad balance beam.
22-year-old from Phoenix, who's now a star at Oregon State, Pac-12 all-around champ. High five from her dad and a hug. Over to uneven bars now. Aline Priest, the 19-year-old, just about set to go.
Uprise to get things going. Little form break there. Bent her knees, split them, but picks up this rhythm. Typically, this first athlete competing for all the countries up, that leadoff athlete, has not the role of having the most amount of difficulty, but it's typically the athlete that's the most reliable. Looks like Aline was able to get her job done there.
Still have two more athletes there on that apparatus for France. Ayaka Sakaguchi now ready for Japan. Going on vault.
Yurchenko double full. Wow. Amazing landing. Pretty sure she stuck it. And what I loved about it the most is that when she stuck that landing, her chest was already vertical. Check it out. Twists very quickly off the table and then nails the landing. Maybe she moved her left toe. Terry, I don't know what you think.
Did you catch that? I'm not sure. I missed that.
They're hoping the judges didn't catch that.
14-2 is the number and the overall number for Japan right now.
And that beats her qualification day, so Japan is moving.
How about Jade Carey and the marks? 12-8. No major problems on B. Pong now for Great Britain as they are grouped together with the U.S. Hunting, the 18-year-old, competing on vault, saw that, and now beam. The two events here in the women's team final.
Undine won a silver medal on beam at Europeans just this year, and she said that it gave her a lot of confidence heading into this World Championships, having competed in two major events already this year and performing so well. Beautiful triple series. What I really like about watching her on beam is just how calm she is from start to finish. She does a nice job absorbing the beam at the end of her skills. To be competitive on this event, gymnasts need to score higher than an 8.0 in their execution score. And Undine is definitely on her way to achieving that here. This is going to be a big number for Great Britain. She could not have done that beam routine any better. What a day for Undine.
And the crowd knows it. First time that World Championships being held in Liverpool, but in Birmingham in '93, 2009 in London.
Next British gymnast, let's do it.
Here's that triple series, that handspring layout, right to another layout, good rhythm throughout that. The slight wobble at the end of that really was her biggest deduction that I saw.
Tongshi Jing underway on vault.
Starting out with a Yurchenko layout full for China. This is really where they're playing that risk versus reward game here. Doesn't quite have the difficulty as some of the other countries, so they're really trying to increase that execution score.
13-1-3-3. China trying to make a comeback in the second part of this women's team final and in that bottom spot.
You know, unfortunately, bars and beam is really where they're able to get a lead. Vault and floor, they don't have the difficulty to compete against these other countries, so they're just trying to hang on at this point.
So you saw the overall number. Should we take you over to uneven bars? Caroline Edoui, ready? 18-year-old who qualified for the all-around final as well in 18th place and competing on 3 different events tonight in the women's team final.
You know, overall, this is a strong event for France. They're ranked 4th as a team coming into this team finals.
Yeah, they're in a position to do something here.
They really are, especially with the mistakes we've been seeing across the board. They just need to hang on. Short on that handstand, but picks it back up. Finishing double front there. Some form deductions throughout. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that execution score here in this team finals, but we'll find out soon.
Over the floor, and the 23-year-old from Rio, Rebecca Andrade from Brazil.
She, of course, has had 3 ACL tears in her career. That's a lot. So they've really been cautious with the amount of training and dialed back the amount of times she's competed on the floor this year. Very much on floor this year. Double pike. Solid routine for Rebecca Andrade. And she's all smiles there. That's going to be a big number for Brazil.
Important for Brazil, too, ending on 2 of their stronger events, floor and then vault, needing a comeback. Pong, another look at the closing moments of that beam routine. Solid 13.7.
Almost a point better than how she did in qualification day.
Maybe there isn't anything wrong with the beam.
I don't know.
Maybe it is level, John.
Maybe they just needed Great Britain and the U.S. to get on over there, warm it up for them.
Exactly. Edoui waiting for the numbers. Yeah, there you go. 13.433, the number. And France trying to make a move here in that 3rd spot, trying to get there at least in the second half of the evening. Lay black now for Canada on uneven bars.
Solid start to this bar team. This is absolutely Canada's most seasoned athlete. And she's something that continues to get better throughout her elite journey.
And the cheers ring out. What do you know, John?
Yeah, they do. It's getting rowdy in here. I actually have 2 sets of headphones on because it's so loud. You know, I talked to Ellie Black after the qualification round, and I tell you what, she is a joy. She loves gymnastics, and she says she's going to keep doing gymnastics as long as she can, and she has goals for Team Canada. It's not just about herself. She wants to see Team Canada at the Olympics, and she really believes that is a team that can get on the podium.
Ellie now 27 years of age. As we go back to the balance beam, Georgia May Fenton from Great Britain, the 21-year-old, just about ready.
She's wanting to redeem herself here on this event after qualification day. She had a really beautiful routine, but over-rotated her double back dismount. They need her hits here. Good side aerial back handspring series. It does ease your nerves just a little bit knowing that your teammate just went up and hit a rock solid routine. Doing a good job of breathing through this routine. And check this out. It's a triple wolf turn, and it is so beautiful how high she gets her leg off the beam.
That's even more difficult than it looks, isn't it?
Oh, man. She made that look easy. I want to see you try it after the broadcast, Harry.
Yeah, don't think so.
Her connections look a little slow if I'm being picky. This is a beautiful routine, but I still think she's going to get connections. Here's the real test. Round off, double back, nails it.
Reason to cheer right now, John.
It's getting rowdy, and you know, the British picked up almost a point on their first gymnast, and now an opportunity to close the gap. You saw the fist pump there. I tell you what, this is what we talked about. Can the United States handle this energy and British onslaught here at the end? We'll see.
And we mentioned that one team medal for Great Britain, a bronze in 2015, so looking for more than that at home in Liverpool. Meanwhile, Shoko Miyata from Japan.
Yurchenko double full. Wow. That was even better stuck than the last Japanese gymnast we saw. Incredible. Found the landing, no problem. Check this out. Her hips are completely stretched all the way till the end. Doesn't even move a pinky toe there. Extremely impressed. That execution score is going to be huge for Japan. And it is.
There you go. 9-4 for the execution. How about the number for Ellie Black from uneven bars? 14.033. So at the moment, at least, Canada in 4th place. Great race at the top right now between the U.S., though, and Great Britain. It's gotten a little closer. Andrade 14.066 for Brazil. Still have vault left. Georgia May Fenton.
Hey, Terry, that's something we haven't seen very much of, is smiling on balance beam.
No, you're right.
Big fight here on that round-off double back.
Can they gain even more ground on the USA?
You know, it's impressive because we saw some mistakes from Great Britain in the qualification day, but there's even more pressure here in tonight's competition. But it looks like they've settled in.
Not done with beam yet, but these two countries will finish on floor to settle it. Remember, a couple of points difference after the second rotation, the top spot in the U.S. with Great Britain. So 13.333. Balance beam, U.S. Sky Blakely just about ready. Here comes the 17-year-old from Frisco, Texas.
This is the only event that we're going to see her on tonight. And really one of the main reasons that she's on this USA team. The Americans have struggled with inconsistencies on this event, but this is an event where Sky can capitalize. She can put up a big number here. Nice triple wolf turn. Huge standing full.
Oh my gosh.
And that was purely nerves. She looked pretty straight, but didn't quite settle it after her feet hit the beam. USA has a significant lead. It should not impact their overall standings, but this really is a good test for Sky. Can you bring the routine back and minimize the deductions from here on out? And she's doing a good job of that.
Talking about that USA lead, yes, it has been comfortable, but maybe with these mistakes, things getting a little closer. Sky coming back from that major surgery on her elbow, which the injury sustained at the U.S. Olympic trials took her out of making the team in Tokyo.
Yeah, and remember, she's the youngest gymnast on this team. She has the least amount of international experience. And there's a different feeling when you're competing for your team. Jade Carey, Jordan Childs have both had experience not only internationally, but on their college teams this year. And that's something that Sky wasn't able to experience this year.
Not quite the same smiles from her and her teammates.
Standing full. Man, right after she fell, you know she's thinking about all the things she could have done.
So Sydney Turner for Canada, uneven bars now.
Nice lines into her release move. I love how her legs are glued together on every single skill here. Oh. Little mistake there, but finishes with a double layout dismount. And like we've been saying throughout this broadcast, these gymnasts need to just stay on the equipment. A fall is a full 1 point. So even slight mistakes, execution errors are still better than a fall.
Well, now costly the mistake for Sky Blakely will be for the U.S. There's the number for Turner.
Very good. You felt really good. I was like, I'm doing it.
And now Sky knows the number will not be as high as she would have hoped.
But this was a highlight for me. Round off, double back. Look at that set position. Spots the landing. Controlled finish. Finishes both flips before she even comes close to landing on that mat.
Think about the athletes from the U.S. making up this world team. Connor McLean, the U.S. champ, not in Liverpool. Back injury is the reason. All right, there you go. 13.266. One more athlete left for Great Britain on balance beam. The U.S. solidly in first place, but maybe getting a little closer, and a lot of pressure now on the final one to go on beam. Alice Kinsella, the 21-year-old.
This is her 4th world championship, so different from Sky Blakely. She does have the experience in competing in this type of setting before. know if it makes it any easier, though.
Doesn't seem like it in the moment.
Side aerial layout and was just completely off. Wasn't even close to the beam on that last layout there, and very disappointing. This is a strong event for Alice.
And how costly that may be.
But it is true, falls are contagious. As much as you don't want that to be true, you can feel the energy shift in an arena when there is a fall right before you go. Assuming she doesn't have any other major deductions, she could end up in the same spot as Sky Blakely, which means it's not the highest possible score she could have received, but not the worst score either. They have so much difficulty in this routine that it does help offset a fall.
Shake of the head, knowing the mistake may indeed be costly. Determination to finish the routine. Earlier, the second of 3 Americans on balance beam, Jordan Childs, who did have trouble on beam in the qualification.
Jordan is an athlete that competed for the UCLA team all year. And we talk about the pros and cons of doing both elite gymnastics and college gymnastics. And one of the pros is that you do get to compete each weekend for your team. So you practice competing with confidence, whereas some of these elite athletes don't have as many meets throughout the year. Something new every day.
Old school. So the final rotation, the warm-ups underway, in the U.S. with the lead, little more than 2 points over Great Britain. And it'll be the U.S. and Great Britain finishing up on floor.
Well, reminding you what's at stake here, the top 3 teams get an automatic qualification to the Olympics in 2024. Of course,
Looking for number 6, Great Britain looking for their best finish ever. They've won bronze here, but they're in that second spot. But that race for third, very tight. Japan, Canada, France, even Brazil finishing up.
this has been a really eye-opening meet for teams like Japan and Canada and France that have jumped up in the rankings here. USA and Great Britain are finishing on their best event, essentially. So assuming all goes well, that should be how this meet ends.
So they finish up on floor along with Great Britain. Jennifer Gadarova, the 18-year-old, just about ready to get things started. Part of that bronze medal in the team event at the Olympics last time around in Tokyo.
This has been a really eye-opening meet for teams like Japan and Canada and France that have jumped up in the rankings here. USA and Great Britain are finishing on their best event, essentially. So assuming all goes well, that should be how this meet ends.
So they finish up on floor along with Great Britain. Jennifer Gadarova, the 18-year-old, just about ready to get things started. Part of that bronze medal in the team event at the Olympics last time around in Tokyo.
Floor is the only event that she competed in the qualification day. Jennifer's floor routine came in ranked 8th, qualified to event finals. And a job well done.
Crowd trying to influence the judges a little bit. A home worlds for Great Britain, looking for their best finish.
Front layout, combination pass, straight into the double back. Slight hop to the side, but other than that, clean execution in the air.
So it's Canada and France who will finish up on balance beam. Emma Spence, the 19-year-old from Cambridge, Ontario.
Beam can sometimes be a tricky event to end on, but Canada's been doing really well. I feel like they have a lot of momentum as a team heading into this last event. Broken connection. Into those jumps.
Canada currently in 4th. They've never won a team medal in the women's event.
Now, hopefully, they're not thinking about being in 4th place right now. She's doing a good job fighting through this routine. This is the part of the routine where you're excited you get to get off the beam.
It's over.
Lead-off athlete was up. I saw form deductions throughout their routine, but overall, it was a solid set.
She likes the numbers. You heard her. I'm happy. Jennifer Gadarova. So it's Shiley's Jones who will start things off on floor for the United States. Floor exercise champ from the recent U.S. Championships.
Great finish on that double-double. Chest is totally vertical. Good routine from Shiley's Jones. She's really racking up the accolades on this event. And even though she was ranked 6th coming in to this team final, she didn't qualify for event finals because of the 2 per country rule.
Get that number in a moment, but over to uneven bars for Japan. Chiharu Yamada. And Japan currently in that 3rd spot behind Great Britain. They've only won a medal in the team event twice, and that was a bronze medal a couple of times back in the 60s.
Big big moment for Japan here, really working on that execution score. She's doing a good job so far getting those legs together. I'd like to see a little bit more of the handstand position. Great fight. Tuck full dismount to a stuck landing, and you can hear her teammates increasing their cheers. They know what's on the line here.
So much at stake. A medal at Worlds always important. This time around, spots at the Olympics for your country on the line. 3 of them.
You know, I really appreciate how Japan has been handling this pressure. It doesn't look like it's affecting them the way that it's affecting some of the other teams.
Emma Spence, the Bean score 12.233. In that race for the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Charlize Jones waiting for her numbers. There you go, 13.733 for Team USA.
Very consistent with what she's been scoring. So once again, proves to Team USA she can be a consistent contributor to this team.
Next up on floor, Alice Kinsella, Great Britain.
Beautiful first pass. The last pass will get a little deduction there, but you can see she just took a big breath.
Just take that moment to listen to that crowd. Been fantastic, been into it from the start.
Definitely a routine to be proud of.
Over the vault for Italy, Alicia D'Amato, the 19-year-old.
Very nice. Yurchenko double full. Finishes the twist much earlier before she lands, which is what you want to see on these Yurchenko double fulls. Italy is ranked 3rd behind the USA and Great Britain on this event coming into team finals.
So that number 14-3, for the moment at least, they're in 2nd place, but rotation at different stages, obviously. So the real drama, that 3rd spot here in the team event. Sella waiting for the numbers. Yamada for Japan. Uneven bars, 13.666. We'll see as this continues. Remember that they were right there in 3rd. Becca Andrade ready. Important vault coming up for Brazil.
Wow, incredible. This vault is so spectacular. Check it out. She actually leaves the table, gets feet above the table before she starts twisting. No one does a vault like Rebecca Andrade. That lift is incredible.
She does do a number of things that you just raise your eyebrows and go, wow. How about the number 4, Kinsella on floor, 13-1-3-3 for Great Britain. Next up for the U.S., the 22-year-old from Phoenix, Jade Carey. And oh, by the way, she's the reigning Olympic gold medalist on floor exercise.
Even though she is an Olympic gold medalist, I think this is the event where you can see her biggest improvement, specifically on the artistry component. Terry, I'd like to remind you, Jade does such a phenomenal job making this look easy, but it is not. She has some of the most difficult passes in the entire competition. It's an upgraded floor routine. Her double-double in a laid-out position. This is her last pass, that tuck full in, but it is jam-packed with difficulty.
And all of that confidence being the reigning Olympic champ now. And having competed a year at Oregon State. Mizuki Watanabe, important for Japan on bars.
Good distance away from the bar. Very nice swing from high to low. Oh. Arches her back, but definitely saves that handstand. Exactly what Japan needs in this moment. She needs to land on her feet.
She did. Watanabe for Japan. John, what do you know?
Well, they're on the verge of winning a bronze medal, and if you did the math with Brazil done, the last two gymnasts from Japan would have to average just over a 12.4 to overtake Brazil. Now, I know Canada and France are still going, but they're on beam. Really, I feel like if they can overcome Brazil, they're going to win the bronze medal. So right now, that magic number, 12.4 or better. Bottom line, they hit the last routine, they are going to win a bronze medal.
You saw the number there, 12.766. So obviously higher than what John's talking about, in a great position to win a medal for the third time in the team event. Olympic champ, all smiles. Great Britain looking for their highest finish. Look like they're going to close that out. Jordan Childs, the last of the three American gymnasts on floor, still to go. 14-1 for Jade Carrick. And the final one to go for Great Britain at home, Jessica Gadarova, the 18-year-old.
She's ranked 3rd on this event, and actually if she didn't go out of bounds, she would have also been tied for 1st place on this event, so it's a routine you gotta see.
At home.
Incredible way to finish. Jessica has been such a strength for this Great Britain team, and she was the one to get the job done on the last event, last gymnast up.
All right, so we wait for that number as they try to solidify that 2nd spot behind the United States. Brazil, Japan, Canada still technically in the mix for that 3rd spot. Japan with the edge, though. One athlete left on bars.
I mean, what's impressive about this floor routine? These tumbling passes are so difficult, but she lands them so cleanly, so controlled, and that's why she's going to get a huge number on this floor routine.
Qualified in 2nd, haven't disappointed in the actual team final. Great Britain, nor have the United States. Jordan Childs still to come on floor. Kokoro Fukasawa, the 20-year-old from Shiga, Japan, the last to go in a great spot. Solid routine here. Japan can wrap up a bronze.
This could be the most important routine for Japan of the night. Caught a little bit close, wanted to make sure she got on the bar. Really working for these skills. Just shy of that handstand, really having to fight through. It back up. She just needs to finish with the least amount of deductions here. And ran out of steam after that release move.
Drama not over.
Let's check out what happened. Didn't quite get her shoulders and her hips over the bar to continue that skill. It is so hard to do a hanging kick cast handstand, picking up your rhythm. And again, the same is true. She needs to do the least amount of deductions here. The third place team is on the line. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh, again.
Oh. And, of course, it's 3 of 3 count, so this score will count for the overall Japanese score. What a fight. Not how they wanted to finish the meet.
Fought to the end, but maybe really costly. They announced the number for Jessica Gadarova, 14.266, as Great Britain is going to have their best finish in the team final. One more to go for the U.S., though. Here is Jordan Childs. Technically, the numbers aren't in, but the U.S. is going to win the gold again.
That was fun. They improved significantly from qualification day to the team final day, and overall, it looks like they gained confidence from start to finish.
The U.S., Great Britain, the top two, with the trouble for Fukusawa from Japan on bars. Ellie Black had already gone. This is a short time ago. It's going to close out that third spot for Canada. Watch this last routine.
With all of the mistakes from Japan on bars, this is a crucial routine from Ellie Black.
It's going to give Canada their first team medal in this event at the World Championships and earn them secure a spot at the Olympics in Paris.
Good punch front. And out of all the athletes to be in this position, you want Ellie Black. She's seasoned. She's a veteran. She's a leader for this Canadian team. This ranked 9th on beam. She nails it.
They needed that routine. They got it. Canada is going to grab the third spot in the team final.
Good finish to this routine, and how special for a leader like Ellie Black comes in, wants to have a different vision for the direction of Canada gymnastics. And now they're on this path. Incredible.
13.833. And remember the trouble that Kokoro Fukusawa had for Japan. They were in a position in third going into this final rotation to try to grab the third spot for just the third time in the team event, but 9-4. Extremely disappointing the way that ended, but it is the U.S., Great Britain, and Canada, the top three teams in the women's team final. And the moment they're going to make it official, there it is. Jordan Childs, the number one again, the 6th straight gold medal at the World Championships for the USA women.
And of course, they made history for the only women's team to have 6 consecutive team titles.
They've gotten used to those hugs, but Great Britain, best finish ever.
What a historic World Championships all around.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Here we go. Let's listen, baby.
And the celebrations underway in Liverpool. Think about having your best finish take place at home at a World Championships.
And they came into this team finals ranked 8th. They fought from start to finish. Consistency was the name for Team Canada. They got the job done.
Ellie Black closes it out for Canada. It'll be a long night of celebrations, I think, in Liverpool after this result for Great Britain. But who would you rather have up there to finish it out, to try to win a medal? It'll be a long night of celebrations, I think, in Liverpool after this result for Great Britain. But who would you rather have up there to finish it out, to try to win a medal? Place, sporttension.com, home of youth sports. So, wrapping things up here, the opening night of our coverage from the World Gymnastics Championships, 51st edition, taking place in Liverpool, England. Once again, it's the U.S. on top of the standings in the women's team final. They win for the 6th straight time. Great Britain, their best finish ever. They won a bronze back in 2015, this time silver. Olympics next time around. Sam, how about the performance by the U.S. in this women's team final?
They came in as the favorites. They had a lot of pressure on them. They really...
Opening night of our coverage from the World Gymnastics Championships, 51st edition, taking place in Liverpool, England. Once again, it's the U.S. on top of the standings in the women's team final. They win for the 6th straight time. Great Britain, their best finish ever. They won a bronze back in 2015, this time silver. Canada, their first medal at the World Championships in this event. And those 3 secure spots at the Olympics next time around. Sam, how about the performance by the U.S. in this women's team final?
They came in as the favorites. They had a lot of pressure on them. They really leaned on rock stars like Jordan Childs to produce clean and controlled landings just like that Yurchenko double full. And of course, the rock of every single team she's on, Jade Carey. She puts up big, consistent numbers.
The floor, the gold medal. It continued on uneven bars. Leanne Vaughn.
And what a routine for her to get back out there and show Team USA that she can put up a big number. Shilese is showing consistency here in a high-pressure team situation. That's what they were looking for from her. And, of course, the redemption routine, Jordan Childs nails a huge number.
Redemption because she struggled in qualifying, cost her a spot in the all-around final. Comes right back, says, I want to do it. I want to go ahead and compete. I've got the confidence, and she came through and to close it out on floor.
such a fun routine, energetic from start to finish, and the
team final is about to commence. Please join me in welcoming the medalists and presentation party into the arena. Presenting the bronze medals, Joanne Anderson, Mayor of Liverpool. In third place, and winners of the bronze medal, Canada. Represented by Ellie Black, Laurie Denomie, Sharon Olsen, Danielle Patrick, Emma Spence, and Sydney Turner, and coached by Laurie Ann Henderson. In second place, and winners of the silver medal, Great Britain. Represented by Ondina Champong, Georgia May Fenton, Jennifer Gadarova, Jessica Gadarova, Alice Kinsella, and Poppy Grace Stickler, and coached by Molly May Richardson. And in first place, winners of the gold medal and world champions, the United States of America. Represented by Sky Blakely, Jade Carey, Jordan Childs, Shalise Jones, Leanne Wong, and Lexi Zeiss, and coached by Brian Christopher.